This is your Barbados Today Morning News Update for Wednesday, September 18th, 2019. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Williams. 2 medical cannabis-related businesses have reportedly been incorporated, even though the bill hasn't yet been passed in Parliament. The red flags were raised at a press conference yesterday, called by the opposition People's Party for Democracy and Development. Spokesperson for Health, Paul Gibson, is questioning how a cannabis licensing authority was incorporated almost 2 months ago, as well as a private company back in September last year. His concern relates to the legality, ethics, and transparency of having this done before the bill gets a green light in Parliament.
We would wish also to be told as to the involvement of George Walton Payne and Co., Mr. Winston Bess of Apple Hall St. Philip, and Mr. William Armstrong of Ruby Plantation St. Philip, all of whose names appear in the certification documentation relative to the Cannabis Authority. It is to be noted that the documents list the registered office address as the government headquarters, Bay Street. Similarly, we wish to be advised as to the involvement of Basil Hunt, Sebastian Hunt, and all of those listed on the directors of BIM Medical Cannabis list. It is unfortunate that in his introduction of the bill at the lower house on Friday, August 30th, 2019, the Honourable Minister made no mention or reference to any of these registrations aforementioned.
The Barbados Port Authority has announced it will waive storage fees for some businesses affected by delays at the port due to the problems with the new processing software. But Chairman Senator Lisa Cummings says this will only be done on a case-by-case basis.
We also accept that there has been a lot of discussion in the public space around demurrage and storage fees, 2 separate things. Demurrage fees are charged by the shipping lines and storage fees by the port. We have given the commitment as a government and as a port and as the board of the port that we will engage with the shipping lines to discuss the question of demurrage charges. We will be making representation on behalf of our local importers to the shipping lines to see how we can address that issue. But as it relates to port fees and storage fees, which we have full control of, we are favorably disposed to agreeing to waiving those fees on a case-by-case basis so that importers can have diminished costs associated with this transitional period.
The senator was among officials who addressed the media after meeting yesterday with agents and customs brokers to discuss the issue that has caused major problems for businesses. She issued an apology and said there should be significant improvement in the flow of cargo out of the Bridgetown port by the weekend. The authorities were initially hoping the issues would be resolved by this Friday. Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strawn, has now sidestepped giving a definitive timeline.
I think at that point he raised the point about the fact that persons were using different passwords in terms of access. The previous system did not. The passwords were issued, which has been done. Persons are accessing the system, so to my knowledge, we no longer have much of those issues with persons accessing the system. And so to the extent that those issues from last week, which were highlighted, those issues have been resolved for the most part. And as I said to you, as I'm looking at live information on the portal now, persons are actually accessing the system and moving through. And so therefore, and I think that has also been as a result of some of the previous interventions with the agents along the way.
Meantime, the president of the Small Business Association is making it clear he isn't a happy camper. In a sharp reprimand to the authorities, Win Punka Willock says the system should have been properly checked before it was implemented.
When you set back 2 weeks of not being able to clear stuff, you will definitely have a problem in terms of the ease of doing business. You know, we talk about the ease of doing business. I think that the system should have been properly checked and all the wrinkles ironed out before they actually look to execute it, because it is in such a crucial area that both small, medium, any size business that has stuff coming in to the port or even going out, it's going to be an issue. So like everything else, it's important to do your checks before you implement something, and that's probably one of the problems we have in this country, where you implement something and then afterwards you find out what the issues are.
On to another issue now. There has been an overwhelming demand for sea eggs since the season was reopened. Barbados Today's Karim Smith spoke to some residents and reports on what they had to say.
Mario Williams, a 26-year-old boat owner and free diver, is one of many residents of Concept Bay, St. John, who tell Barbados Today the season has brought the fishing community back to life and provided temporary jobs for the unemployed.
Sea egg season is something really like what people are looking for in certain small fishing village. Like in my fishing village, everybody'd be excited of it. Like, you know, everybody get a little work after things so hard, the government sending some people. Everybody get a chance to come and harvest some sea eggs and make a living for themselves.
Williams, who free dives with a team of 4 to 5 divers, however, revealed sea conditions are usually difficult in September, hindering the ability of seafarers to take full advantage.
If they had the season like in August time, which when the sea was really flat, outside was really hot, no wind, I would say I would just give it for 2 weeks. But no, it's hard. I think that's the main reason why they give it for 4 weeks, because they know the sea is going to be good. Nobody ain't get to go out there and get them. But as I said, there's a lot of sea eggs out there. I mean, for the first day dive was 22 boats up here on the East Coast, boats from all Staines, boats from all over the place. There were sea eggs everywhere. This morning there was sea eggs all over still.
The prices of sea eggs have increased tremendously over the years, from approximately 10 cents per sea egg in the 1970s. Today, $70 will fetch buyers a 16-ounce container filled with a local delicacy, but customers are not complaining amid an overwhelming demand.
The last couple of years, it was $60. This year is $70 a container, a 16-ounce container.
Okay. But customers aren't determined?
No, it's not a problem. Sea eggs is not a problem. They could sell it for $100, they're buying it. They don't care. Sea egg is only one time a year thing.
Kareem Smith for Barbados Today.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
In Trinidad and Tobago, there is outrage over a BBC documentary highlighting the situation facing Venezuelan migrants who've relocated there. The BBC is standing by the documentary that has been criticized by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. We get the details in this CNC3 report.
This is the displaced.
But upon his return to the country last evening, the Prime Minister was greeted by a documentary produced by the BBC.
Venezuelans were left waiting, confused about the process and worried about how the police would react. The government announced in the following weeks that 16,500 Venezuelans had been registered in the 2-week window, a figure significantly lower than the estimated number of Venezuelans in the country.
The 14-minute piece catalogues the Venezuelan migrant issue and paints a grim picture about their circumstances in Trinidad and Tobago. At a press conference on Monday, Dr. Keith Rowley raised strong objection to the documentary.
The BBC is a government agency in the UK, and we'll make a formal complaint to the British government about that. Because we are small, but we are not insignificant. And whatever we do, we don't mind you saying that we have done it. But we don't want you misrepresenting us in this very dangerous world.
And finally, Saudi Arabia says it'll restore its lost oil production by the end of this month. Already, it has managed to recover supplies to customers to the levels they were at prior to the weekend attacks on its facilities by drawing from its huge oil inventories. We get the details from Reuters News.
Panic in the oil market eased on Tuesday after Saudi Arabia's energy minister said the kingdom has already restored oil production after an attack this weekend took out 5% of global oil output. Early in the day, a top Saudi source told Reuters oil production would be back online within 2 to 3 weeks instead of months as first suggested. At a press conference on Tuesday, the Saudi Energy Minister Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman, along with the chairman of state-run Saudi Aramco and the company's CEO, were united in a message to reassure the market that Saudi oil is available.
Over the last 2 days, the damage has been contained, and more than half of the production capabilities that were damaged as a result of the attack have been recovered. The company will meet its commitments to its customers for this month by withdrawing its reserves of crude oil.
This is the first public statement on oil production given since a weekend attack on key Saudi facilities crippled more than half of Saudi oil production in the largest single supply disruption in half a century.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook and sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Carol Williams. Have a good day.